Hello, and welcome back to Game Brigade. I am Brian Greer, and if you are new to the show, we do reviews, previews, playthroughs, and have conversations about our favorite board games. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to join the community, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It would be mostly appreciated. Today, we're taking a look at My Father's Work by Renegade Games. So without further ado, let's get to the campaign. My Father's Work by Renegade Games. We are currently at 2,819 backers with 14 days left to go as of the recording. Okay, so let's drive on into the campaign and talk about what My Father's Work is about. This game is going to be really heavy in the theme and the aesthetics of the Frankenstein-like experimental type scientist work. I love the theme. Even this graphic with the flashing lightning is so cool. Really hammers into what to expect in this type of game. We're going to scroll on down here to the gameplay, and then we'll talk about what's in the box. So the gameplay is going to be done on two different boards. You're going to have the village board. Now, this is the village board, but there's no village here right now. There is an inlet right here where you're going to be laying the village board on top of it, because the village will change depending on the way you play the game or the way characters handle certain situations or scenarios. The village can be affected by your decisions. So you're going to have a whole leaflet book here, which you're going to flip to and lay in. That will change for your worker actions. Once that's in, you're going to have worker placement locations. This is at the core of it a worker placement game and a resource management game. So you're going to be sending yourself, your wife, or your spouse rather, and your help to different locations here on the board to collect different types of resources. Certain resources, though, are going to be referred to as a little bit creepier, because if you're going to the graveyard to dig out a body, that's going to come off as a little strange to the townsfolk. And so there's a meter up here that's going to increase your creepiness meter, and if the rabble-rousing meter comes down enough and you meet, you're going to have a problem with the townsfolk. So you're going to try to be managing that. But you're going to want your creepiest meter to move up, because that is how you're going to hit different types of storyline elements on the chart. You also have down here a sanity marker, which is going to be reflected by the types of missions that you're drawn. You're going to be given different types of objectives or types of cards that you're going to want to complete. And if you are unable to complete them, these are these madness cards, you are going to be then given these insanity cards, which you are going to be not wanting because they're very painful. These aren't so bad, but once you stack up a few of them, they're going to be very painful. The second board that you have is the estate. And this is going to be tracking your experience and the different types of experiments you've done, as well as actual complete the experiments. And then along the side here, you're going to have the locations of where you're going to be placing your different types of buildings that you've constructed for your estate. So I love the different aspects right now of like different types of buildings that you can have, the different types of experiments you complete, how you can achieve higher goals here for now. I like that there's a lot of elements to this game. So even though, yes, it is just a standard worker placement game with resource management, there are a lot of elements to this game that I enjoy. The biggest detractor that I have for this game is that it is app driven. So the scenarios that you're going to be getting through this book will be basically thrown to you in a mobile app to tell you what kind of storyline you're going to be doing and different scenarios that are going to be occurring. The only problem I have with that is if the operating system is no longer supported after so many years, this game could have a lifespan of that time. Of course, that could be 10 or 15 years. I have no guarantee in terms of how long that could be, if at all. But it is something to be aware of, that this game potentially could have a lifespan because it is going to be OS based. So in terms of what we're going to be getting in the game, we're going to be getting different types of ingredients. You're going to have your gears, you're going to have your different types of body parts, animal components if you need to do some experiments with animals, as well as these crystal vials. You're also going to be having a bunch of different types of minis. And now these minis are going to represent the different characters in the game, but they are all fully interchangeable. So if you want to have this guy be the doctor, it is totally fine. You can use anyone you want to play any type of role in the game. You're going to have your character, your spouse, as well as 3 different helpers. They call them servants in the game. I really wish they didn't use the term servant, but that's what they're using. in the game. And so we're also going to be getting a game trays, which, you know me, if you've been watching the show for any amount of time, I love game trays. I think this is one of the best systems that you can make to make a game enjoyable and really increase the ease of use of getting to the table. So we've got a pretty good idea of what we're looking at. So let's scroll back up to the cost, because that is the question. So right now we are at $99 for the generation pledge level. There's only going to be one pledge level for this game. So they're just saying, hey, here's our game. We're going to be offering it as a deluxeified quality game. And it's not going to be available in retail. Now, I'm not going to say that it's not 100% going to be available in retail, because they do offer the retailer pledge. And you can see that at least 152 retailers have backed this at the level. So it's going to be in some different types of retail outlets, which is great. But don't expect that this game is going to be readily available for you if you decide to wait on this Kickstarter. So if this is a game that you are interested in, if this is something you want to get involved in, you're going to be more pressed to have to get the pledge here on the Kickstarter than take the chance that maybe your store has backed it for you. Now, you can do what I do. I always reach out to my local store and say, hey, are you backing this game? If I get a confirmation from them, that's perfect, because then I can just put a reserve copy through them. And I recommend you doing that as well. And sometimes people don't even know that your local stores might not even be aware that you can back these Kickstarters. So maybe talk to your local store and see if they would be interested in doing something like that. It doesn't hurt to ask. So in this game, you're going to be getting your minis. You're going to get this scenario book. You're going to get the different locations for the house. You're going to get all the different types of resources and cards coming in at $99. I've had a few people message me and tell me that they think the price is a little high. I actually think with the game trays and the minis and the deluxeified material down here, I actually don't think $99 is that off. I'm actually pretty okay with the price. The real question for me is, at that point, is the gameplay enticing to me enough, and is the overall aesthetic going to drive me to want to play this game? For me, I think there is enough here that I would be backing this game. Now, I've already talked to my local game store, and they are going to be backing this game, so I'm already putting my reserve copy in through them. But if they weren't, I would be backing this game. The only thing that I'm a little annoyed with is the lack of scenarios. They've unlocked the scenarios through the pledge manager or through the stretch goals, but we probably much are guaranteed that these were going to be part of the game anyways. So that's a little annoying, especially with the app. But we've got, our scenario 3. If we scroll on down, you can see that they actually have gotten to more actual additional upgrades to the components. They're increasing the amount of type of animals that we're going to have available, the game trays, more additional body types, which is great. And then they're going to be increasing the size. And of course, some of these we don't know what the overall game track is going to be in terms of the cost, but they are available. Let's get on down to the shipping, because the shipping is not that bad for a lot of the places. It gets a little high in different areas though. So they do say that this project is custom friendly. It says VAT is included at no additional charge and will be incurred beyond shipping. So that is good to note. US is $10. I think that's actually a great price for US backers. I don't think I've seen a game with this much content be that cheap. So thank you for that. 13 for UK, 21 for Canada. It's a little bit more expensive, but for some reason our northern brothers have been having a little more costs lately. 23 for Australia, 23 for New Zealand, and then we get into more breakdown of the EU. I would recommend for sure checking to see where you're located here, so you know the exact cost for your region, because that is very important. So that is my father's work and a quick breakdown of how the game works, kind of giving you guys an idea of what the game is like and kind of talking about what I would do. Again, I'm in love with the theme of this game. In fact, which is kind of funny, there's a YouTube channel that I watch called Dead Meat by James A. Janice, and he just covered maybe a little bit, I don't know how long ago, but he covered the original Frankenstein movie. He basically goes over movies, really great channel. Check it out. He did Frankenstein. I'll put the link down below. And watching that and then going checking this out, I was like, man, I really want to play this game because that seems a lot of fun. They seem like they've done a really good job of wrapping in the aesthetics and the feel of what it would be like in the Dr. Frankenstein world into a really nice game for Kickstarter for a deluxified copy. It's kind of one of the reasons why I come to Kickstarter. I want to get those unique experiences that I don't get in a standard board game, with more, upgraded components that I could pull out and I could have my friends or my family be like, wow, that is an experience that I can't wait to play. That's kind of the feeling that I get with my father's work. It's one of the reasons I came to Kickstarter in the first place, is I want to drive more of those types of experiences out. So I definitely think this is a game that I would recommend in terms of backing. Again, I haven't played this game. I've only gone through what I can see through the previews, which is all information that's available for you guys. I just try to compress it all and try to give it to you guys in a clear, concise information manner. So hopefully this is helpful for you. If you did find anything useful with this, please hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. With that, I'm going to take off. I will talk to you all very soon.